This camera is so stupid sometimes, man. Foot pedal, or man, why do I always call it a freaking foot pedal? Alright guys, so welcome to part 4 of the Dyna floorboard series. We are putting custom floorboard mounts on my 1994 Dyna Y-Glide so that I can have floorboards at the height that I need them for my short legs. We've got the mounts for the floorboards themselves basically done. They're mounted on the frame right now, but we still have to do a little bit of fabricating to be able to integrate the controls. So today we are going to be working on that. After this we're going to be doing the air cleaner, and then that'll be basically it for the Dyna and getting it on the road, but that'll be a whole nother video. So first thing we're going to be doing today is cutting out some pieces. We're going to actually salvage some pieces from the mounts that we took off the Dyna. I'm going to be cutting this out on the bandsaw, and then yeah, that's going to be the start of relocating all of these foot controls. Alright guys, so we got this piece cut out here, and this is actually marked out like this, so it'll fit around the mount that we made for the floorboard. It's all going to fit together kind of like a puzzle, but I'm going to cut this out. My dad's going to help me out with keeping the blade cool. One final cut. Okay, all the cutting for now is done. And that's what's left of that brake assembly. Okay, time to hack this thing up, since I know how to do a hack job on a grinder. And yes, I'm wearing safety glasses, as you guys can all see. Okay, that should be good. Okay, a little more puzzling to do. And not the thinking type, but the literal type of puzzling. I've got a little bit of a weld back here, so I'm just going to grind away just a little bit of this corner here, just to fit around this weld and get that fitting nice and snug up against there. So now that I've got all the trimming and stuff done, I just want to round this out a little bit and make it look a little bit better. And then I did bevel the edges here just to get the weld inside of. Alright guys, so we're just doing a bit of a test fit on the bike right now with the part that I cut out from the brake lever. And the only issue, as you can see, the brake rod hits the exhaust pipe mount before it actually gets up high enough to get the pin in there, which is a pretty easy fix. I'm just going to cut this tab off, and then we're going to make a new tab here that's going to be a little bit longer and bring it out a little bit further so that everything lines up properly. Anyway, I'm going to go cut this piece and cut this tab out, and then we're going to start modifying that a little bit further. Okay, so we've got our parts all cut out here, and then we just kind of did a loose fit on the bike. We are going to be welding this. My dad's just got some feeler gauges and different things here that he needs to get that all jigged up appropriately. There it is, all jigged up and ready to weld. Let's put this piece in here to fill the gap. So it's all ready to weld. All right, so there the part is all welded up and on the bike. Everything lines up nicely. There's enough clearance on the brake rod everywhere. We'll be doing the brake pedal next, and then it'll be on to the other side of the bike. Alright, so that's the fabrication on the brake lever side. And now we're just going to get started on the shifter side, and where you see that line there around that pivoting point, I'm going to be cutting it apart, and we're going to use this pivot to manufacture a new shifter setup. Alright guys, so I'm just measuring out where we're gonna be mounting the shifter. I'm gonna go from the top of my floorboard mount here. We'll see where it all ends up being after we've got these bends put in it. I'm gonna measure 12 inches. And what we're using for that is just a piece of 1 inch by 1/4 inch flat bar. Put a little Sharpie line on here. Nothing's exact yet at this point. Just getting the material ready. Choppy, choppy, choppy. It's done. Just kidding. All right, guys, so I'm just set up to make the first bend. Yeah, I'm just gonna show you guys what I'm bending this to on the bike. Basically, I want it to match this curve here that we've got in the mount. I've got a mark on the bar stock there so I can make sure that I keep my bend centered. I'm using a socket. So I'm all set up to do that, and I'm just gonna hope I don't have to bolt my press down. Yeah, you just wanna make sure everything is centered and square. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to bolt it down. Okay, my press is bolted down and I'm good to go, I think. Looks good. Test fit that. And rather than just doing like a million test fits, I just did the old copper wire trick and just bent the wire to the curve that I want this to end up being at. And I need to go quite a bit more. Looks good now. Gotta get a little bit of a workout in. This copper wire trick is super duper handy. Fits pretty good. Fits where we want it to. Okay, so we've got this all set up to be marked out for the next bend, and we want to make sure this bar here that we're bending is straight up and down. So I'm just going off that seam in the primary, and then we just got C-clamps just holding the bar in place so that we can mark out the curve that we're gonna need up here. All right guys, so we got this all marked out to bend now. Once again, we're using a piece of copper wire as a template. I've got a Sharpie dot on my copper wire as well as a mark on my steel here, so that when I'm actually comparing this copper wire to the bend I'm doing in the steel, I make sure that I'm actually putting everything in the correct place. We've got another jig here on my press because I want to be able to keep the material square throughout the entirety of the bend. So I've actually just got a square clamped on to my piece of I-beam here. That just makes it quick and easy to line everything up. So I've got it all set up here ready for my first bend. I've got my workspace bird proof because Loki is a little brat and he's just scampering around on the other workbench right now, luckily, but he was over here. So I bird proofed my area. Yeah, if you're gonna have a bad shop bird who doesn't bring you tools and just steals them instead, then you gotta bird proof your area. So that's my template for my bend. And as Bender would say, bend, red, bend. So we're gonna bend. Bender. My turn to be a bender. Not on a bender, just a bender. All right. Don't want to get bend happy. Just want to be happy by the time you're done bending. I think that's probably good for the first bit of bend, but I'll let my dad be the judge of that. Okay, so my dad's just got some incremental bends marked out for me. So I'm just going to be bending a little bit at a time on each one of these marks. And then I'm going to go back and bend between the marks. And then I'm going to go back again and bend on the marks again to help it to become a curve according to my dad's instructions. So this is the first time I've actually done a bend like this. It's almost right. So that very last one, push out a little bit.
You gotta make it match what you did, or match the wire. Okay. I'm trying to put that under there.
See that now. think that's better. Even Tiny came to acknowledge my work. Right, Tiny? Did you come to see what was up, Tiny, or did you just come for a snack? I don't got no chips, Tiny. I don't got no chips for you, Tiny. Are you just taking a nap there, Fatty? All right, so we've got this all fitted. We're gonna need to put a little bit of bracing on here too so that we avoid flex. We don't want this thing flexing while I'm trying to shift. All right, guys, so there's just a little bit of a close-up of just how it's all fitting. Yeah, I'm actually kinda a little bit proud of myself that I got that bend all right the first time, basically. Well, yeah, like the first time, other than like that little minor correction at the end there. But okay, guys, so I just wanted to show you what my dad's doing here. You can see the bracket or the mount for the floorboard right here. And then this is the mount that I just bent, or the piece of bar that I just bent that's going to be the mount for the shifter rod. So we're gonna wanna weld this actually to the mount for the floorboard. So we got to mark out a line to cut the steel away, and we want it to be at the same angle as the mount for the floorboard. So what my dad's doing here is he's got a compass with a piece of pencil lead in one side of it, and he's just following the curve of this floorboard mount along with the one side of the compass. And while he does that, the side of the compass with the pencil in it is going to draw a line along where we're going to want to cut this steel. You can see he's already marked it, but I just want to show you guys exactly how he does this. So you can see as he pulls the compass up the edge of the mount for the floorboard, it's actually following that same line, and it's drawing a line along the steel there. And if you can see that, you can kind of see the line dimly in the camera, but you can see that line there in the steel. It actually follows the same angle of the bracket. All right, so I took away and cut that corner, and it fits nicely on the mount for the floorboard. The only thing that I've done besides the cut is I just beveled the edges a little bit for weld. But as you can see, that method with the compass just gets you the proper angle that you need. So we're all ready to tack weld this, and now we are ready to weld. My dad tack welded it while it was still on the bike, all welded up, and there it is on the bike. Don't have to worry about anything hitting places where it shouldn't be. It's actually got quite rigid welding it, but it's still got enough flex in it that it's gonna move when the shifter is being used. All right, guys, so this one is all jigged up and ready for welding. How many C-clamps do you see in this sea of clamps? We're ready to weld that. And then once that is welded on, this piece will be nice and sturdy, and it'll basically be done for welding. Okay, guys, so I just wanted to show you here that we actually shortened the shifter arm for the Dyna. At first, I was just thinking maybe we wouldn't do it, but then once we fit everything, we realized that it would look a little bit silly if we didn't shorten this. So my dad cut this. He cut 1 inch out of it. This is the piece that he cut out, and he actually marked it out just by putting a piece of 1-inch wide masking tape just kind of in the center where he wanted to cut it, and then he just cut on either ends of the tape. So that's the piece he took out, and just to compare it to like a stock length shifter arm, that's what it looks like. So that's how much shorter it is. And you can also see the difference between my dad's grinder work and mine, which, well, I don't have anything to compare it to right here because everything I grinded is actually on the bike. Looks pretty good though. Getting super close to done. Just gotta shorten that shifter linkage, and then we're gonna basically be ready to go here. All right, and then this is just the shifter linkage there. It's cut almost in half. Keeping this piece here, it had to get shortened quite a ways from where it was. We've got our 5/16 fine thread heim joint here that we had one threaded into either end of this. Don't mind the bird, I cannot control him. And then, like before, we're just gonna tap out the other end of this. It's a piece of tubing. And if you guys wanna actually see how to make your own shifter linkages, just with a piece of tubing, a tap, and some heim joints, then you can watch that video on my channel. I'll put it up in the corner here where the bird's head is. Yeah, anyway guys, that's how we do that. It's pretty simple to make. Well, check it out guys, there it is. It's all done up. So it's basically finished other than cleaning up with the grinder and some paint. But next time you guys see it, it will be finished. And you guys can see just adding that piece of bar stock made this whole piece so much more rigid so it doesn't flex up and down anymore. Like you can shift through the gears without that moving at all, which it's going to be a way easier shift when the bike's actually moving. It's going to look pretty good, all flat black with some gold anodized fasteners holding it all together and stuff. And yeah, it's pretty good. I think I showed you guys the brake side already, but let's walk over there anyways. So that's the brake side. We kind of just utilized the old brake parts for that. Okay, these guys think it's pretty cool too. Don't you, Tiny? All right, so that is the end of this segment of the Dyna Floorboards project. Next video to come will be the last one, and it will be everything all mounted up and finished and ready to go. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that one. That'll be a short one. Yeah, it'll be good. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I love the fact that I've got some floorboards. Next thing is gonna be just some modifying to the exhaust a little bit, and then the air cleaner adapter for the S&S air cleaner cover that I'm gonna put on there. And it's gonna be good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I hope you're looking forward to the next one. And like always guys, if you like what you see, or if you just like me, or even if you don't like me but you like my bikes, then like this video, comment down below, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell. And like always, my lovely YouTube people, I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace. Right, Loki? Bad bird? He's still a bad bird, you know that? You might not believe that he's fat, but he is fat. Dyna, you need some treats, don't ya? Fat cats need to remain fat. You're retired, Tiny. You're allowed to be fat.